So let's start. What is algebra? Can you recall the meaning from your previous class, that is 6th standard? Algebra is a branch of mathematics, as you all know, just like geometry, arithmetic, trigonometry, calculus, all these are branches of mathematics. In algebra, we use symbols in place of numbers. What are these symbols called? The symbols are called variables. If you all remember, the symbols are called variables. So, since we use symbols or variables in place of numbers, we call this as generalized arithmetic. Arithmetic is purely numbers, is it not? Operation of various numbers that you have learned. Now, algebra is generalized arithmetic where we use variables and numbers. These numbers are called constants because variables are terms which vary. Vary means they can change or take any number. Okay, but numbers are called constants because constants are fixed in their values. For example, if you take the number 5, 5 has a fixed value, that is 5. It cannot vary. So numbers are called constants. A variable means something that can vary. That means something that can change. It is a term that does not have a fixed value. So a variable is generally denoted by letters of alphabets such as X, Y. All these are small alphabets. Okay. So these alphabets are used as variables in our terms and expressions. Okay. A constant is a term that has a fixed value, as you all can see, 1, -4, 6, 23, -10, all these are constants because they have fixed values. Okay. An expression is formed using variables and constant. So what we mean is, these variables and constants are used to form terms and terms are used to form expressions. Depending on the number of terms, we have various types of expressions, that is monomials, binomials, trinomials, etc., which we'll be learning in algebraic expressions in the next chapter. Okay, so for now, you need to know that an expression is formed using variables and constants. For example, if I simply write 7, that becomes a term. To this 7, if I add a variable, let's say x, then this also is called a term. This term can also be called as an expression. Did you understand? In this expression, 7 is a term, x is a term. I can also write this as 7x. 7x is different from 7 plus x because whenever we write 7x, we mean 7 into x. So, any number of expressions can be formed using variables and constants. Okay, so an equation is a mathematical statement of equality. It is a condition on a variable. Now you all know what a variable is. So in this chapter we are going to learn what is known as simple equations. But let us first see what an equation is. An equation is a mathematical statement. You all know what a statement is in your English subject, is it not? A statement, you can say 5 plus 6 is 11. It's a statement. So we call it mathematical statement because we are using numbers. In the above, so many sentences are there. It's a term that does not have a fixed value. That is a sentence. So if we have mathematical statements of equality, then that two statements become equation. What we mean by that is, suppose I write 5 plus 4 equals 9. Then this becomes a mathematical statement. I am stating that 5 plus 4 equals 9, which is true. Is it not? So this mathematical statement of equality, why do we say equality? Because this mathematical statement, it has two expressions. 5 plus 4 is an expression, 9 is an expression. They are separated by an equal sign. So, such mathematical statements of equality are called equations. Okay, they are called equations. So, an equation is a mathematical statement of equality. It is a condition on a variable. What we mean by that is, in this example, children, I have written 5 plus 4 equals 9. I can write 5 plus any variable. Choose any variable from these or many other alphabets. Take one of them. Let us take it as, say, A. A is a variable because A can vary in its value. So, I am writing a mathematical statement, 5 plus A equals 9. Okay, so 5 plus A equals 9 is a mathematical statement. So I call this an equation. Okay, now this equation is true depending on the condition on this variable A. What we mean by that is, depending on the value of A, this statement becomes true. That means if A takes various values, let us say 5 plus 1, I am taking A as 1. Instead of A, I have written 1. But 5 plus 1 is not equal to 9. I hope you all agree with this. 5 plus 1 is not equal to 9. So this is not a statement of equality. Okay, so I have to keep on supplying values for this variable A so that the left hand side of the equation LHS, as you all know, you have learned in the previous class, should be equal to RHS, that is right hand side of the equation. So when is that possible? So if I supply A as 2, it becomes 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is not equal to 9 again, because 5 plus 2 is 7. So what value should I supply to this A so that the statements on the LHS and RHS are the same? So let us see. Let us give A as 4. So 5 plus, instead of A, what am I doing? I am substituting the number 4. Now 5 plus 4, I can say is 9. So LHS is same as RHS. So I can claim that this statement is true. So this forms an equation. So an equation is condition on the variable. So just now you learned what the condition is. The condition is such that a proper value has to be supplied to the variable so that the statement is true. Did you all understand, children? You all have actually learnt about equations in your previous class, so try to recall. Now, let us see what the difference is between expression and an equation. So, an expression has got only one side. It's just a statement, but equation has got two sides. Is it not? So, it's a statement of equality. That's what we learned. So, equation has two sides. Expression is made up of only a term or terms. Okay. So x plus 5 is an expression, whereas x plus 5 equals 8 becomes an equation. I hope that's clear to you. Similarly, r minus 6 is an expression. R minus 6 equals 2 becomes an equation. Please see the difference, children. In expression, we have just a term. It can be term or terms. In this case, terms, one variable and a constant. Variable and a constant. Okay? But here in equation, you have one side to the left of equal sign and right side, that is a, to the right of the equal sign. Similarly, r minus x is on the left hand side and 2 is on the right hand side. Okay? Next. An equation has two sides. Just now you learned. The two sides of the equation are separated by an equal sign. The left hand side, that is LHS, and the right hand side, that is the RHS. So an equation which contains only one variable is called simple equation. What we mean by this is, if I give an equation like x plus 2 equals 10, then I can call this simple equation because it has only one variable. Likewise, p divided by 5 equals 25. Again, this is a simple equation because it has only one variable, one alphabet or one variable. Whereas, if I write x minus a equals 14, then this is not a simple equation because there is x, one variable. There is also one more variable, that is a. So this is not a simple equation, but these two are simple equations. Please bear that in mind. So read what a simple equation means. A simple equation is an equation that contains only one variable. Only one variable. Then that equation is called simple equation. Okay? Next. Now you can see in this example, x plus 8 equals 12. X is the variable. X is the variable. Okay? Likewise, 2m divided by 4 equals 6. Again, m is the variable, so I can call it simple equation. T minus 7 is 32. T is the variable. 4x plus 5 equals 6x minus 25. Children, here, though we have the variable both on the LHS and on the RHS, x is repeated both on the LHS and RHS of the equation. Still, we have used only x as the variable and not any other variable. So again, this equation becomes a simple equation. Okay? Next. To write statement as an equation. In your previous class, you have learned when a statement is given to you, how to convert it into an equation. For example, if I say a statement, if I state it as 9 added to a number equals 12, then how do we write that equation? 9 is added to a number. A number is already there. Let us call that number P. Small alphabet, children. Remember always small alphabet. But you can use any alphabet if it's not specified. If it is already specified as 9 is added to P, then you have to use only P. But if I give statement as 9 is added to any number, then you can use any variable, say x plus 9 or t plus 9 and so on. Okay, so the statement is 9 added to a number. So I've used the variable as p, gives you 12. Gives 12 means is equal to 12. Is it clear? So what did I do here? A statement is now converted to an equation. So that's what we are going to learn in this clipping. So I'm going to give you various statements and check if you can do the equations for those statements. It's very simple. Last year you have learned, so try to recall. So there are various statements and equations here. Check them out. The sum of 3 times x and 11 is 32. So 3 times x means, see here, 3 times x means 3 into x. I hope all of you understood that. 2 times 3 means 2 into 3, is it not? 10 times 5 means 10 into 5. So 3 times x, what is the statement? Sum of 3 times x and 11 is 32. So the equation formed here is, because it is sum of 3 times x and 11, this equation is 3x plus 11 is 32. Wherever is there or gives is there, use equal sign. So sum of 3x plus 11 is 32. Let's see the next statement. 5 subtracted from 6 times a number. Here the number is not mentioned, the variable is not mentioned. So this number you can take it as x, y, z, p, s, r, anything. So what is the statement? 5 is subtracted. 5 is subtracted from what? From 6 times a number. So 6 times a number is 6p. You can take it as 6x, 6s, 6a, anything. I've taken it as 6p. So 6p minus 5. Because the statement says 5 is subtracted from 6p. 5 is subtracted from 6p, and what is the result? The result is 7. Okay? So this is the way you have to understand the statement and check the order and write the equation properly. Okay? 1/4 of m is added to m. 1/4 of m is 3 added to m. Check here, children. So what is 1/4 of m? 1/4 of m can be written as, two ways are there. 1/4 of, you all know of is multiplication. 1/4 of m, you can write it as so, or you can write this as m by 4. I hope you agree. So 1/4 of m is equals, what did I say? Wherever there is, add equals. Is, that is equals 3 added to m. 3 added to m. 3 added to m. What does it mean? You can say, why can't we write it as 3 plus m? We cannot, because the order is 3 is added to m. M is already there. You have added 3 to it. Did you all understand? Okay, next. 5 times r is minus 45. See here, 5 times r is 5 into r. 5 into r is equals minus 45. Minus 45. Okay. Sum of twice n and 16 is 46. Children, so simple the statements are. Please check the equations and try to do it on your own. 10 times a is 70. That is 10 into a is 70 or 10a is 70. What did I tell you? Wherever we write, say 10a, what we mean is 10 into a. If I write xy, I mean x into y. If I write 2a, b, c, what we mean is 2 into a into b into c. Okay? Yeah. So, the next equation is 5 added to 1/3 of z. 1/3 of z is z by 3. Just now we saw what it is here. 1/4 of m is m by 4. So 1/3 of z is z by 3. Z by 3. Okay. So 5 is added to z by 3, that is 1/3 of z, and the result is 30. Okay. 6 taken away from 6 times y is 60. Very simple, children, and it's like a game. 6 is taken away. So 6 is subtracted. From what? From 6 times y, and the result is 60. Clear? Next one. 45 divided by a number. Here number is not given, so you can use any variable. I have used b. So 45 divided by b, the result is 9. So children, these are all the equations. All these are the equations. This is how we form equations when statements are given to you. These are the statements and these are the equations. Okay? Next. To convert an equation into a statement. So, now you know how to convert statement into equation. Now you are going to convert equation into a statement. Even this you have done in your 6th standards. Try to recall. Only thing is order is very important. Okay. Now, we have an equation and you will write the statement. The first one, p plus 4 is 15. So what is the statement? 4 is added to p. The result is 15. So here in this case, this is the equation and this is the statement for that equation. Okay. Next, m minus 7 is 3. 7 subtracted from m is 3. Okay. Or you can also write it as difference of m and 7 is 3. Difference of m and 7 is 3. Even then the order will be m minus 7. Okay. Or you can also write 7 when taken away from m gives 3. Okay. The statement should be proper, children. Grammar should be proper. Otherwise you can write it in any of your own words. Okay. Next. 2m equals 8. So 2 times m is 7. Sorry. Here this is 8. Change this. So you can write it as 2 times m is 8, or you can say when 2 is multiplied by m, the result is 8. So just like I said, you can use any words, but it has to give you proper statement for that particular equation. R by 6 is 8. So 1/6 of R is 8. You can also write when R is divided by 6, the result is 8. Or you can write when R is divided by 6, we get 8. Okay. 3n by 5 is 6. So 3/5 of n. 3n by 5 is nothing but, children, remember, 3 by 5 of n. So what does it give? 3n by 5 gives us 6. Okay. Next, 3p plus 4 is 25. So when 4 is added to 3 times p, the result is 25. 4p minus 2 is 18. So what is the statement? 2 removed from 4 times P is 18. S by 2 plus 5 is 8. So 5 added to half of S. S by 2 is nothing but half of S. S by 2 is nothing but half of S. What is the result? The result is 8. Okay. Solving an equation. To solve an equation means finding the value of the variable. Children, just now in the previous clipping, you learned that when a statement is given with one variable, it becomes a simple equation. So that simple equation will have a single variable, and finding the value of that variable is nothing but solving an equation. Okay, so what do we mean by solving an equation? To solve an equation means finding the value of the given variable. Okay, so in this method you have various methods. The first method is elimination method, children. Here what we do is, in this method we add or subtract a number on both the sides, that is LHS and RHS, so that the variable becomes independent of the number. What we mean by that is, now suppose we have m plus 5 equals say 8. Then our aim is to solve this equation. What we mean by that is, we have to find the value of m so that this equation is balanced. Children, equation is nothing but a balance. Imagine a balance. Okay. Now, we have to supply values for m so that this statement is true. In this elimination method, what we do is, the aim is to make this m independent. That means on the left hand side we should have only m, and send all these numbers attached to m to RHS. Okay, you have learned this also. Try to recall. So in elimination method, what I do is, I want to get rid of this 5. So getting rid of 5 doesn't mean that we simply erase it. So how do we get rid of 5? What I do is, m plus 5 I have. So I need to remove this 5. So what I do is, I write minus 5. But remember, this is a balance. So if I remove minus 5 on LHS, I have to remove minus 5 on RHS too. This is called elimination method, where you are trying to get rid of this 5 and make this m independent. So how to get rid of this 5? 5 is added to m. So I will subtract one more 5 so that m becomes independent. But same thing should be repeated on the RHS. So I have subtracted minus 5. I have subtracted 5 on both LHS and RHS. Now what happens is, plus 5 and minus 5 gets cancelled. Remember, children? Plus 5 minus 5 is nothing but 5 minus 5, that is 0. Now our m is independent. On the RHS, 8 minus 5 becomes 3. So the value of m is 3. So now you have solved the equation. How did you solve? You found the value of the variable. That's what we mean by solving an equation. Okay, solving an equation means finding the value of the variable. Okay, now let's see. In this method, we add or subtract a number. We may have to multiply or divide also. We'll come to that later. So that the variable becomes independent of the number. So in this example, please observe, children. The equation is x plus 6 equals 9. X plus 6 equals 9. So I have to get rid of this 6 which is added. So what do? I subtract 6 on LHS and I subtract 6 on the RHS also. So whatever in this method, whatever you do on the LHS, you have to repeat on the RHS also, so that the balance is not disturbed. Okay, so subtracting 6 on both sides, we get x plus 6, which is already there, minus 6, and 9 minus 6. Now, on LHS, what do we have? We have only x. How? 6 and minus 6 got cancelled because 6 minus 6 is 0. So, on the RHS, 9 minus 6, that is 3. So, the value of x is 3. If you want to check, substitute 3 for x. 3 plus 6 equals 9, which is a true statement. So, what have we done? We have solved this equation. Okay, next. Go to the next example. M minus 5 is 18. So, I want m independent. So, I am going to remove this minus 5. How? Now, instead of my subtracting 5, I am going to add 5 on both the sides. Okay. So, my m minus 5 plus 5 is same as 18 plus 5. 18 plus 5. What have I done? I have added, let us say in the balance, I have added on the pans 5 kg on the left hand side, that is left pan, and 5 kg on the right pan. So, now here you can see minus 5 plus 5 get cancelled. Recall integers, children. Minus 5 plus 5 is 0 because minus 5 is additive inverse of plus 5. When you add them, you get 0. So, now our m gets the value 13. So, we have solved this equation also. Clear? I hope this is clear to you, children. This method is called elimination method. What did we do? We eliminated the numbers that are attached to the variable. Okay? Next. So, I have given you some examples here. So, here in this example, you have 4a equals 12. 4a equals 12. I need to get rid of that 4, which is not added or subtracted, but which is multiplied. So, what do? I divide 4a by 4. That means I divide both LHS and RHS by 4. That is 4a divided by 4 equals 12 divided by 4. So, again this is a balance. So, both sides I have done the same operation. So, 4 and 4 gets cancelled. 4 ones, 4 threes. A equals 3. Is it clear to you? So, that is the answer. So, divide both sides by 4. Here in this case, you have to multiply both sides by 7 because this 7 is divided. 7 is in the denominator. So, I have to multiply 7 to get rid of this 7. But I have to do that on both the sides. Is it not? So, 4a divided by 4 equals 12 by 4. You all can see I've shown you the working here. Here m by 4, m by 7, children. 7 is in the denominator. So, how to get rid of that 7? Multiply 1 7 on the LHS. 4 into 7. So, I have not changed anything. Balance is proper. Now, 7 and 7 get cancelled. M equals 28. Okay. A equals 3. M equals 28. Very simple, is it not? This is called elimination method. Please concentrate and learn it properly. Note, in the above examples, we make the variable independent of the number. Okay? By eliminating the number either by adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing on both the sides of the, that's very important children, both sides of the equation you have to do the operation, because this is nothing but a balance. A balanced equation is like a weighing balance with equal weights in the two pans. You can see, is it not? Now see, this is balanced. Suppose I add 5 kgs here, 5 kilograms. What happens? This balance becomes so. Is it not? So what do I do? To balance it, I add 5 kg on the right hand side also. That is exactly what we have done in these operations. Please remember, you have to, whatever you do, if you want to subtract, you will subtract same thing here. If you want to multiply, you will multiply. If you want to divide, you will divide. Both sides same operation has, same number has to be operated. Otherwise your balance gets disturbed. That is what we mean by a balanced equation. Clear? Next, trial and error method. Now you all learned what is elimination method. Let us see what this trial and error method is. In the first example itself, I gave you what trial and error method is, children. Keep supplying values to the variables so that the equation is balanced. Okay. In this method, we give values to the variable till the equation is satisfied. That is, LHS is equal to RHS. Okay. Now, there are two examples here. X plus 5 equals 9 and 5p plus 2 equals 17. So here, let us supply values to x so that that number plus 5 gives you 9. So, value of x and solution. Let us see. So, in the first case, x is 1. X is 1. So, 1 plus 5 is equal to 6 but not 9. So, we cannot have this value x equals 1. Let us see here. If p is equal to 1, then 5 into 1 plus 2 is 7 and not 17. So like that, children, keep on giving values to p till your answer becomes 17. Likewise, keep supplying values for x till this equation is satisfied. This method is called trial and error method, but this method generally we do not use because it's a tedious method. Okay? You can see x is given 2, but still it's not satisfying the equation because you should get 9, but you got 7. In this case, you got 12, but your answer is 17. Okay? Let's see. So, we have supplied x equals 3, still not satisfied. P equals 3, still not satisfied. Oh, sorry. P equals 3 is satisfied in this case. See, 5 into 3 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. Fine. This equation got solved. But here, in this case, still not solved. Let us see. X equals 4 has satisfied the equation. So, here, P, if you give P equals 3, then your equation is satisfied. Here, if you give x equals 4, then your equation is satisfied. Okay, so this method is called trial and error method, children. It is, like I said, it is tedious, meaning it's lengthy. So we generally do not use this method for difficult equations. Okay. Activity. Now solve 2x minus 10 equals 6, elimination method and trial and error method, and see the difference between the two. Add 10 on both sides. In this method, just now I told you, eliminate 10. To eliminate this minus 10, I have to add 10 on both sides. Here, you have to keep supplying values for x so that you will get the solution. Okay? Please see the solution. You understood? Here, elimination method, x equals 8, value of p, here value of x only. This is also x because we have done for the same equation use two methods, elimination method and trial and error method, but the equation is same, so the variable is same, children. Okay, so you saw the difference how it's done in this method and trial and error method. So whichever is simple you can do unless it is specified in which method you have to do. Okay. Next, check whether the value given in the brackets is a solution to the given equation or not. Solve the following equation by elimination method. Divide by, so here please pay attention. Now n equals 1, you have to say yes or no if the equation is satisfied or not. So n equals 1. 1 plus 5 is definitely not equal to 90. So this is a no. Similarly, you can see all these equations and check if the given value satisfies or not. Okay. In the next problem also you can see n equals -2. So 7 into -2 is -14 and -14 plus 5 is not 19, it is -9. Similarly, you try to substitute for these values and check if the given value for the variable satisfies the condition or not. Also solve the equations by elimination method. The method is clearly mentioned. Elimination method only you have to use. See what I've done here and see if you can follow. Few more examples. 3p by 4 equals 6. So multiplying by 4 on both sides. Again, this is elimination method, children. What we have done is multiplied by 4. Here also 4. So 4 and 4 gets cancelled. So 3p equals 24. Again, in this one step you could not solve this equation. So you have to get rid of this 3 also, which is multiplied to p, and make p independent, is it not? Again, I have divided by 3 on both the sides. So 3 and 3 gets cancelled. 3 ones, 3 eights. So p equals 8. Okay. You have few more examples here. You can see and solve. Here I have solved these. Check it out. Here these also you can solve by elimination method. How do you do that? 2q plus 6 minus 6 equals 12 minus 6. So 6 and 6 get cancelled. So 2q equals 6 and q equals, again here children, divide by 2, divide by 2. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. 2 ones, 2 threes. Q is 3. Here 8y divided by 8. Why? Because I am trying to get rid of 8, and 32 by 8. Remember, balance. 8 and 8 gets cancelled. 8 ones, 8 fours. So y equals 4. In this case, first multiply by 3. So 20p by 3 into 3. Why? Because I want to get rid of 3. 40 into 3. So 3 gets cancelled. So 20p equals 120. 20p equals 120. Now I'll divide both sides by 20. Okay. 20 gets cancelled. 21s. 26 times. So our p equals 6. So that's how you solve by elimination method. Okay. Your assignment. Solve the following equations by elimination method. And then your second main is, you have one more main here. This is second main. So some statements are given. So reading the statements, you have to set up equations. Read the statements and form equations. Okay children, I hope this video has been clear to you, because this is nothing but 6 standard portions. Only solving, we have used 2 methods. Try to revise by watching the videos again and again, and please do the assignment. We'll discuss the answers in the next class. Thank you.